Traders Bitcoin daily chart. Let's just go out to a weekly and let's just cover one thing here before we get down to a potential trade idea. Okay, let's have a look. Right, let's just pull this back. Where's 2017? Oh my god, I got involved. Look, let me tell you a little story. All right, we'll just have a look at this. My mate rang me up and said, "Oh, Tony," he called me Tony, right? Bitcoin's $600. We've missed the boat. And I said, "Oh, I'm going to buy." And he said, "No, you'd be foolish if you bought in at $600. Don't do it." So I didn't. And then we had the 2017 thing, and I did kind of play around with that. I traded all of this dip after the 2017. Man, imagine $600 a Bitcoin per Bitcoin. Oh my goodness. Anyway, you can't kick yourself for. But I remember that distinctly. He was yelling out, "Oh, it's 600. Oh, we've missed the boat. Let it go. Oh, no, okay." Anyway, come to where we are today. And now here's the thing about this. This is a bullish trend, right? And look, you hear a lot of noise on the internet. Every time this thing rallies, you have these guys pulling these funny faces on YouTube, right? And they have rockets screaming out of their ears, and it's all going to the moon, and Bitcoin's going to be 100,000 by the end of June, and everyone is incredibly convinced, and there's so much hype, and then it tanks. I have to laugh, and it's like it shuts them up, right? It's the end of the world, and really does change things, guys. You have to approach this with a level head and be a little bit grounded, right? You see Lambos and guys screaming rockets and moon and all this kind of thing. Do you really want to be that? Do you really want to be that? I mean, is that the financial advisor you want on board? Anyway, look, I'll I'll clam up. Looking at this, here's the thing. Let's just go back. Okay, all-time highs, right? Okay, and then what happens after an all-time high? Look, it tanks, and then we get big money accumulating, guys. Seriously, big money. Right. They don't want to buy up here. It pushes up again, all-time highs. Big money has already bought it. They unload here because they want a discount. And look what happens, right? Down it goes. They buy up big time, right? Another all-time high. Now, we're talking big guns with enough money to move this market, right? Seriously big money. Do you think they're wanting to invest here and accumulate with however hundreds of millions of dollars they've got on, in their books? It just makes sense to me that let's just move this chart a little bit. All right, I'm not predicting anything here. I'm just saying you need to keep a level head. And I mean, look at that pullback. Look at this pullback. Another all-time high. Look at this thin liquidity through here, guys. Look. Okay, we've got these. This is what the weekly time frame. Okay, we have these liquidity voids here, here, as we had here and here. And look at how deep these pull back, right? So this would not surprise me in the least. It's not a prediction. I'm just saying get ready for the possibility that, then we're off to the next all-time high, right? The 80s. That's just a possibility. Now, if I was big money with I don't know, however, hundreds of millions of bucks, right? I don't want to be getting long up in here. And if I can control these markets, I want this thing to tank down in here, and I'm going to buy up at a bargain, and then I'm going to unload again up here and cause the next bloody big thing, right? Okay, you get my drift. So that's looking at this from the bigger picture and just staying grounded and making room for that possibility. Then we come back to the chart and we we look at this at the daily time frame. And given that this is bearish in a big way, right? My next target level is going to be under here and potentially under here, right? If this continues down, you got to look for where where you think the market might react, and we might get a bit of a thing around here as well. Okay, we've got this low here that we got to contend with. That's our next port of call, and then we've got these liquidity voids, these gaps until the next value area, balance area, whatever. Okay, and yeah, understand that there's a possibility that this thing continues to tank. Right, I've got that off my chest, and you've got people saying that, all right, this is the all-time low, or this is the low. It's already here, and they're convinced of that. Look, what are they basing that argument on? Okay, this is a big low. If it holds here, it might. I mean, look, here's the thing. There's a ton of liquidity under here, right there, like a stack of liquidity, and the market's looking for liquidity. It feeds off it, right? So, given the fact that we have a ton of stops at this level, it makes sense that it'll tap into it. And we should, I mean, if it pulls down a bit further, we should see a decent reaction like we did right there. See this under here? That's what I'm talking about. That's liquidity. All right. It hits it and it causes the market, to pull back like that. So this is heading down. This is my target right there. And I'm thinking we see another retrace. Something like that, right? So that's what I'm kind of looking at the moment. Now, let me just back these drawings off a little bit. And we'll get rid of this because I don't want you to get the wrong idea. So, with that in mind, I mean, this could head in either direction at this level. It could either hold here and push off and we're off to the moon. And I've got to try to be a little bit sensible here because I keep wanting to do this. I'm going to get out of my system, guys. Hang on. This is the guy up here, right? No, it's not drawing very well, but he's got a big smiling face, shining, and there's a rocket sticking out of his ear. I better draw that. That's a rocket, and there's another rocket sticking out of this, right? And also there's a rocket out of the top of his head, right? That, look, the 80,000, and I'm going to jump up and down and pull faces if this trades up in here. And I've been buying all through here, right? If that trades up into here, I will make a video on YouTube and I'm going to pull faces and scream rockets and carry on. I really will. I promise you that. Let's go there. I won't rent a Lambo. I'm not going to do that. Right? I won't be renting a luxury car and wearing sunglasses. I'll let that one go. But I've got that off my chest. I just feel so much better. So here's the thing, right? Big level, possibly. Okay, the market does what it does in a trend. All right, here's the thing, right? And maybe possibly further down, right? That's one thing. And I'm looking for a reaction off this level down in here, our zone. Pulls back possibly, and that could happen. And it could trade further south. It might hold here and we're off to wherever we're going, right? That's a possibility. So this can head in either direction. That's what I'm saying, guys. But yeah, allow for the possibility that this thing tanks. Now, two things you can do with this. One is you can dollar cost average in, which I've been doing all through here, buying up spot, and I'll hold for the. I'm in for the long term, and I'll it's a bit of a roller coaster ride. I'll put up with it, And the other thing you can do is you can trade to build your stash. So let's now talk about trading this. I'm bearish. That's a nice little jump in here. Okay, that's interesting. Bit of a dippity-doo-dah under. Okay, so there's two ways this can go. You want to consider, well, kind of relative equal lows here, right? You want to consider the possibility that this price action is gearing up for a reversal. That's possible, right? Every time I see, or anytime I see a relative equal lows like this, and then it does a little bit of a dip under, right? That is a possibility. That's a possibility. Given that we've had this here, this move with a vengeance, and a dip further under, attacking that, okay, quite possible. Now, I think at this level, I would be looking for a bullish move, the retrace from there, and the target would be, you know what, I'm probably going to go in here somewhere like that. So that's a possibility. So let's just clear everything, and I'll remove the drawings, and I'm going to mark up a potential retrace, looking for that. That's a target, all right? That's a bullish target. We've got a bearish target here, right? So that's a range that I'm interested in. And then, guys, from here it's easy. We go down to a 15-minute chart. Okay, this is bearish, but it's tapped into the lows, and I'm expecting a pullback, right? So let's just have a look at, let's just go back here. Okay, fair enough. It could push further low. But anyway, we'll go down to a 15-minute chart, and this is how I'm going to be looking for a trade opportunity. And it's a very easy process, right? So you're looking at these price swings with a Fibonacci, swing high, find the low wherever that ends up, and a move back into this equilibrium could be a thing, right? That makes a lot of sense. Look at this here. Look, price swing, high, low, and the pull back into the equilibrium, right? So you've got Fibonacci, high, low, and the equilibrium around the 50% here. Okay, so it pushed through a little bit further. So then there's a short position up in between the 50 and the 618. Righto, fair enough. And there was a trade, okay, 3-4R, nice. And the same thing I'm looking for here is going to be that. Now, we could look, you could speculate and you could set up a short position in around here, above there, right? And then go for your target. That's a 1.6R. What do we got? Push it down, go for a 2R, right? Something like that, but look left. I don't know why it's not letting me scrunch the chart up any further, but yeah, that's an idea. Look, that's speculation for short, all right? And or you wait for price to shape up and invite you in. I'm just trying to delete a few things. Righto. If you want to get involved long here, I probably wouldn't myself, but you just need to wait for this to range like it did here. Yeah, reluctant to get long in a bearish trend, guys. No, you might be lucky to find an entry point. If we break market structure, I would even go down to a 3-minute chart for this. All right, so you could look to counter trend trade that, but you need to wait for this thing to range through here. And I'll show you an example. Well, look, it's going to spike. The volatility is going to kick in. And if you're going to look to buy, let this happen. You want a bit of a fake out, and then you want to see it dip under. Right, fake out. This draws in more liquidity from buyers, and then they take out those stops. Okay, and then this range break and retest is your opportunity to buy, to get long. And I would set my target, well, up in around here. It's not much of a trade, guys. You know, if you're trading counter trend, I don't recommend it. You know, but here's the thing. Look, in a trend, look at the opportunity with the trend. Okay, you get short here, and you could be still in that. You get long here, and that's the end of the road, guys. So, you know, counter trend trading is really not it's not very enticing. So trading with the trend, yes, right? So yeah, I'd be looking for a short if this pulls back. But in saying that, you want to consider that this is a big level, and the liquidity that's sitting under here could be the end of the road for a little while. All right, so I don't want to ramble on too much, but look, that could be a thing. But if it hits that, I would expect, you know, and from there, look, it could trade south or it could trade further north. That's my take on Bitcoin, guys. What else can I say? I mean, I think I've covered everything. I wouldn't be looking to buy unless we see this. See this high here? If we break structure, right, however it works, if we break this and we come back, retest and fail, then there's your opportunity to get long. Break of market structure there, I would be looking to buy. But until I see that, my bias is the pullback and bearish. Anyway, a couple of ideas there, guys. I think I'll wrap it up. I'd love to hear your comments on this, but that's my take on Bitcoin. And with that, I hope you have a great day, safe trading, and we'll see you in the next one.